Hey guys, so over like the last sort of 5 or so years, I've seen just countless amounts of stuff in the media about people being airbrushed and put on magazines, and it is absolutely true. I don't have any problem with it, to be honest. I think it's just people's own choice. To be honest, it's just a media storm people cook up, makes them money, makes them publicity, all that stuff. But everyone thinks it's some mystical thing that only the big cats can do in the industry, and that's why it's so taboo and all that kind of stuff. That's my opinion of it. So what I thought I'd do is I'd show you how to in Photoshop. I'm using CS6, but I'm pretty sure this works in most versions. When I say I'm pretty sure, it's just because I'm not sure if this tool exists pre CS4. I know it's CS4 and above. It absolutely does exist. That one of the tools we're going to use anyway. So what I have here is I've got an image from Google Images, and I will put that in the description if you want to try out with this. The image is 1200 by 1600. You can use whatever image you want, and I'm just gonna chuck that in. So before we start, I want to talk about the actual image itself. So there's the image itself is quite high resolution, which means that it's a very high quality image as far as the camera it was taken on, the exposure, all that kind of stuff. And that's really important. So you'll see up in the top left corner, now I'm zoomed in at 100%, so the actual size of the image. And you can see it takes up more than my screen. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to do what would be done on a magazine cover if this photo was to be put onto the front of it. Now, I haven't done it with this image previously, so I thought I would just do it on the fly, see what we can get, see how good of a product that I can come up with in the space of this video. So without keep talking, I'm just going to get into it. So we're just going to call this one our base layer cleanup. Sorry, I meant to write cleanup, but I'm just going to leave that. Alright, so on the left-hand panel, if you're using CS6, you can have this little thing which looks like a band-aid, kind of. I think it looks like a band-aid, but it's called a spot healing brush tool, and it does exactly that. You have a whole bunch of other ones, and we won't get into those at the moment. We might use them later on for touch-ups, but there's this amazing tool in Photoshop, CS5 and 6, and I'm fairly sure CS4, called the spot healing brush tool. Now, what it does is it looks for the most consistent patches of, the most consistent part of the image where your brush radiates from. So let's just say if you can see my mouse where it is at the moment, the center point of that, where the most normal part of that is, it will take it from. So what it does is it basically says, okay, this looks consistent with the rest of the image, which is what you're trying to achieve here. Now, I'm going to replace whatever you clicked with the most consistent thing that I can find. So what does that mean? That means that, and I'll just show you, so I'm going to make this a lot smaller, so you shouldn't be too small. You should have, the general rule is you want it to cover the entire thing and then a little bit. So as you can see, I clicked that, and if you didn't see that for some reason, you'll notice where my mouse is right here, there's a little pimple or something that someone tried to pop. And it was bleeding when the photo was taken, and now it is gone. Alright, so what we have to do is we have to basically go around, and I'm going to use a brush size about this size just because it works for this size image, but obviously you're going to have to resize your brush for absolutely every image. It doesn't matter, I mean, you'll figure it out. Alright, so we can get rid of those in just a moment, but I'm just going to finish up with this. Cleaning up what would be considered imperfections on the skin. Go around like this, and you can spend ages and ages and ages doing this. There's a little called cravats, I guess, or crevasses, basically where the skin is damaged. You want to fix those up because you wouldn't want to publish those on a magazine cover. So you're going to take your time with this, assuming you are in the industry and you've been asked to airbrush all the imperfections out. Now, you can take your brush here, and we're just going to run it up here. And that didn't seem to do anything, so we'll come back and fix it up later. That's okay. So it's fairly hit and miss. I mean, Photoshop's not perfect, and neither am I, and neither is anyone really, as far as tooling and stuff goes, but still it's pretty amazing. So we've gotten rid of quite a lot of stuff. We might get rid of that, and if you guys can't really notice what I'm getting rid of, you'll kind of notice the difference at the end. Just leave that. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, she didn't have too much going on. Sometimes the airbrushing takes hours and hours and hours. But I'm just cleaning this up for now, and you can go over like this and really just get all of that kind of like pinkness out, but we're going to clean that up as well with another tool, but you can do that if you want. I mean, works pretty well. So we can go like this and just kind of go over it a little bit, just like that, remove all of that. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually attempt to remove the what you would call like these face studs, basically, so nose rings or nose studs and the under lip stud, because often you wouldn't want to publish that in a magazine, again, if you were airbrushing. So to get rid of them, it's really not hard. I just put my mouse perfectly over where I want to get rid of, and there you go. And I just, sometimes you'll have to zoom in quite far to get this right, and you'll have to make a really, really small brush size. There you go. And if you find you have any inconsistency, you can kind of just fix that up really slowly. There you go. Now, you can kind of notice it a little bit. I didn't really do it properly, but it's pretty good. I mean, if you were spending a lot of time on it, it would go fine for you. So again, I'm going to grab my tool here. Now, this is going to be a little bit more difficult because you'll notice that there's a nose line. If I grab this cursor, there's a nose line which runs kind of from sort of the inner nostril up to about, I don't know, a few centimeters up the nose, and that's where the nose piercing sits. So you do not want to remove the nose line because, well, that would look really, really weird. So you're going to basically just go around it just like that, and I'm fairly happy with the way that that's actually worked. You don't want to run over that kind of, that creasing right there, which is naturally found on the skin. So even that was just a little bit too much. You might move over just a bit. Alright, so that's gone now. And we're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to get as close to the inner side of the nostril as we can. Click it, and it's gone. Alright, so those are all gone now. So we've gotten rid of the nose piercings, and it looks less harsh to publication. So actually what we'll do now quickly is we're going to just, I'm just going to go back down here. I forgot about this. Just going to remove that. I'm going to remove that. Alright, now let's say we didn't want to publish 2 chains because it's a fashion magazine. So we want to remove the gold chains. Often this is done. Often models just don't want to remove the jewelry. So that's not a problem. So we just drag our tool down here and let Photoshop do its thing, and they're gone. And we can do the same thing on this side. Just like that. And I probably should have been a little bit more consistent. And go down like that. There you go. And you can basically clean this up. If you see any like smudging from the tool itself, then you can go back and just clean that up yourself if you want. Alright, so the chain's gone now, and you can kind of see the chain line, but we'll fix it up in just a second. Alright, so the next thing to do on this image would probably be is that we're going to give a bit of a tan. It seems to be quite a consistent thing that goes on, is tanning and using Photoshop to tan. So we have a thing called a burn tool, and the best way I can describe this is it kind of matches the color of the skin and then well, gives it exposure. So let me just show you without actually messing with the tool itself. Let me just show you kind of like what that does. So you can see if I click here, we get a really like a bronzing effect, and we can run all along here. I don't know what it just did then, but sometimes it makes it look dirty, so you don't want to do that. So we can do that, and we're basically just going to all the really super light, excuse me, all the super light places, we're going to just run along here, and that's making her look quite dead, like almost undead, so let's not go with that. So what we're going to do is we'll go back to here. I'm happy that it's working on the cheeks, except for just there. I'm not too happy with that. So we have this thing called range. You have mid-tone, shadows, and highlights. So you kind of want to play around with this a little bit. You're gonna find what basically works and kind of what doesn't work. And grab your brush and just go over it, just like that. And that doesn't work, so we'll go to highlights. And that kind of doesn't work. Okay. Annoying. Protect tones. Let's go to midtones. There we go. Alright, so we're going to just very slowly kind of just go over this with this tool. Now, I'm really not that well experienced with this tool. I find it kind of weird, but there are a lot of people who are really good at using it. We can make that a lot darker, and we can just darken the nose a bit, and then we'll put some, make our brush just a little bit smaller here, about that big, and we'll go over like that, and that kind of looks funny. That's pretty funny, but yeah, no, that looks silly. But yeah, we can do some bronzing with this. And I guess my thing would be just get better at using it. I'm not the greatest at using it. It's kind of a weird tool to use, but there we go. So we've done some bronzing, all that stuff. I'm not happy with the bottom part here, but you know, whatever. So the final thing is that you aren't allowed to be a certain size, whatever. So what we do is, let's just say we wanted to reshape the face, because that's a massive point of controversy for some reason. You know, I wonder why. But we have a two-stage process to do this, and what we're going to do is, it's actually not that complicated, but it's a little bit tedious. So you're going to grab this tool right up here, which is a magic wand tool, and yep, it's pretty cool. So turn the tolerance down to about 18. Actually, go 14-ish. Yeah, alright, I'm happy with that. And we're going to delete this out. Just make sure you've got everything selected, because otherwise it gets a little annoying. I'm not too fussed about it, to be honest. Like right now, I'm not doing this, you know, properly, so to speak. I'm just kind of showing you the gist of it. But head over and liquefy. If that's not there for you, go to I think it's under distort. No, hold on a second. I don't even remember. Stylize video other. I don't know. For me, it's just here. Go away. So filter, liquefy, and I don't know. Someone's messaging me. Alright, so the reason I cut the background out is because we don't want to warp the background itself. So grab this tool, and we're going to make it really, really big, like really big. And I'd say probably that's big enough. And what you're going to do is you're just going to start pushing the whole face in. And you're going to bring this in just like this, really slowly. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to end up with like a warped line, basically. You're just going to bring this in, and you're basically aiming just to bring the jawline in more, to just really kind of accentuate. I guess that's the word. You're just looking to accentuate that the jawline a lot, and you're going to bring this up just a little bit, and we're probably just going to make the chin like a little bit smaller, a little bit softer, and bring this up a little bit. Just like that, and make a bigger smile, just like that, and give her a bit of a smaller nose. See, actually I want to show you that. Basically, if your brush is still too small, you'll have a like a focal point, which kind of looks funny. So you don't want to do that. And I've seen that in actual like covers on things. Basically, they have what ends up being a focal point, and it looks hilarious. So you don't want that, but bring the nose up, that kind of stuff. Smooth this all around, nice and easy. Alright, and we're going to make a little bit smaller lines, eyes, so, whoops. So we're going to make the brush size a lot smaller, and brush rate. We're going to make about there. And what you want to do is you want to actually drag from left to right. So you basically want to just suck it all in like that. Now this looks a little demonic, but you kind of get the idea. You can spend time and actually make those better. So you can see from before and to after. So if I press OK, that should render now. Alright, so now all we're going to do is we are going to put a different color. We're going to put a background behind it, whatever, doesn't matter. Put it behind a beach. Basically, you would just drop a background behind this if you wished so to do. And there you go. So, I will show you before. So, before? No, I'm just kidding. After. No, let me just quickly paste this again. So, before and after. So, you can really see that there's a lot of a difference there. You guys might be thinking, wow, that is way too easy. Yes, it is. But hey, if you ever get an inclination to do that to your own photos or whatever, go nuts. Just be conscious it is incredibly obvious for people who have done it, and you probably will get called out on it because it looks pretty funny. The magazines, even the professionals, it's still so noticeable. It's pretty funny. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys want to see more Photoshop videos or whatever else I put up or don't. Like, dislike, whatever. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Have a good one.